Has the day begun? I lived one life. As the day ended, I had begun anew, reborn with a new life, a new mission, reborn with a new vision. What may come, I don't know yet, but I am here alive, living my life to the fullest, with new love in my heart and soul, a gift to have, a gift to give, a new life of love. Reborn. I'm like an ice skater dancing out for the first time on the form solid ice. No more fears, no sorrows, because I love the coming tomorrows. This life has barely begun, but now I know what I wanna do. I know what I wanna be, reborn. Finally feeling I am fulfilling my destiny, with a heart filled of gratefulness, happiness, joy, overflowing of kindness and love. Oh, so much love. I feel like love is the supportive pillar in my soul, and it only grows each day. I'm reborn in love.
Here I am. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your ditzy host, Teresa. Welcome to my channel, Wounds to Wisdom. I thought I had already created the invite for today's show. So, if you're joining us on the replay, thank you so much. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you are joining in a few minutes, well, then I'm so grateful to have you here. I've been befuddled. And so, we're talking about grief, and I've been living in it lately, and some things I've been mulling over. And so I wanted to share some things. And so before people pop in, I think I'm just going to hop over and, whoops, and here we go again with the song. So let's stop that right now. So I wanted to share something. And it's talking about grief. It's from a book, Confessions to the Moon, and it's I think it's Mike Poetry, and it's the following. I feel your absence in every little detail. It's not just in the big memories, but in the small, everyday moments. The sound of your laughter, the way you said my name, the sense of peace when you were near me. Sometimes it feels like I hear your voice in the noise of the day, or catch your scent in the middle of a crowd. It's not just nostalgia, it's the weight of your absence in every part of me. And I have to be honest with you, I thought I could do this without, getting weepy. And it just doesn't happen that way. Hi, Heaney. Thank you so much for listening. I really did boondoggle today's go live. So I wasn't even expecting any humans. So thank you for being here. And so, grief is funny. It comes in waves. And my teacher, David Kessler, um, and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who I never knew. I read her book, um, not when it first came out, but I was in high school. And it was a book that had been referred to a class. We had lost some students on death and dying. And it was something that never really, I thought, would pertain to me. And it's not that I didn't expect someone to die, but um, you're young and you're a kid. And so when we lost some classmates, it was very profound. It didn't hit me in the sense of I was inconsolable. It was kind of sad and it felt detached. But, when I lost um, my mom, it it threw me. And I'd had deaths before, but it's a tough time for me. Um, And yeah, it's an amazing book. And David Kessler, I don't know if you know Heaney, and I don't know if you can see it. And I'm actually going to reverse the mirror here. Hold on. So that way you can see what I'm seeing. Let me just change the mirror. And you can see the book. It's called on Grief and Grieving, and it is by David Kessler and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And David Kessler also has another book called Finding Meaning in Death. And they're both really profound for me because they give you tips and tricks and tools. And as a grief educator, I did help and hope to continue to help people move through grief, but also to be in grief. I think that what we do as a society is we try to hurry it up. Hurry up already. What do you mean you're not over this? It's been 6 months. And so there are a couple of poems that I have come across in the last couple of days that I think I saved. Of course, I'm not going to find them when I need them, so I'm not going to fiddle around. But they're very profound and they're very heart-wrenching. And when we talk about grief and moving through and with grief, there are multiple stages. And for people who don't know, and I'll do this for the replay crew because I flubbed this up today. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to talk about some of the best things to say, if there is such a thing, to say to someone in grief, and what is recommended is don't say to people that are going through grief. And let me just find my other notes because I don't want to highlight this in the wrong way. Oh, so first of all, the 5 stages of grief are, well, they don't come in any specific order, right? So let's just say that first. So as I describe this to you guys, just keep in mind that it's in no particular order that you experience these things. So it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And this is including both death and dying. So the people that in your life are ill and they are on their journey of dying, we then create this bargaining situation. God, please let them live. I will be a good girl my whole life. I promise you. There's this bargaining. If I do this, let this person live. And, and the denial, well, they're not going to die. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And I think that we balance our thoughts with what's going to get us through the day. And I've been struggling because I don't know if I want to say struggling. I'm trying to use my words impeccably, as described by the um, my other lovely book here, The Four Agreements, right? Use your words impeccably. And I think that, there are different seasons where things come in waves for each of us. And for me, around Easter, um, it was one of my most favorite times with my mom. And she spoiled me. I can't believe I'm still getting this weepy. Um, and yet I can, because it is profound and it is heart-wrenching for me. So this time of year is very sensitive. And I find that, it makes me lonely and it makes me miss her. And what I would tell to a client is be in the moment and miss her. Miss the person you love the most. It's okay. It's okay to cry. I mean, I don't know why I want to make excuses for myself, but it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. Isn't that the beauty of life and grief? It's to feel. It's the survivor in us. And what do we do afterwards? And that's part of the journey. Grief needs to be witnessed. And we need other people to go through this journey with us so that they don't say oh, well, at least she lived until that age. It doesn't matter if someone lived to 100. If you loved them profoundly and they were such an integral part of your life, it's I think about Dick Van Dyke. He's what, almost 100. His son, his children are in their 70s and going into their 80s. Do you think it's going to be any less profound when Dick Van Dyke dies? He lived to 100. Good on him. That doesn't take away the sorrow and the pain and the ache, right? So let's just talk a minute about yes, I know, Heaney, and I don't want to apologize. There's no rule here for me to say I have to be this perfect person. Um, it shows, at least for me, I loved her. I cared about her. That's how I express my sorrow. And quite frankly, I've been known to cry when I'm laughing. So, although it's usually followed by, peeing in my pants because I'm laughing so hard and crying at the same time. I haven't loved a lot of people in my life. There's a handful. And so I think each experience moves us and shapes us with their life and their death. And I am someone who is profoundly impacted by death, especially when it's in tragedy. I think I had talked about this a couple of months ago. Sorry, I have both my puppies right on my hips here, and they're showing me some love. I was profoundly impacted by the hostage taking October 7th last year. And, well, God, it's been over a year. And knowing that each of these people were going to be murdered, and the pain and the suffering. And I felt every loss as if it were my own, because I could relate. Hi, Melly. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yep. I am really trying to allow myself to just be who I am. I had talked in the beginning when I first kicked off this channel that I stopped laughing because I had been criticized that I laughed too loud. And until I really have come into my own, I'm not about to let people define if I laugh too loud, if I cry too much, whatever it is, it's not for me to change who I am and the integral pieces to me. Hi, Jimena. Hi, Healing Through Song with John. Um, so, the fact that I'm going to cry through this show today is just, I think, a tribute to the fact that I loved and that it's hurting right now. But it's also joyous because there's a memory in my mom's presence and the fun that we had during this time. And then knowing that I'm witnessing my father going through his end of life. So and what's even more interesting is that I become the elder. What? What? I'm becoming the elder. And that's just something that's a little bit uncanny. So I just wanted to talk about some of the things to say to someone in grief that are the positives and some of the negatives. So I think I'm going to start with the negatives and end on the positive. So some of the worst things to say to someone in grief. Well, at least she lived a long life. Many people die young. Okay, that's number one. Don't say that one. He or she is in a better place. Well, that doesn't make you feel better when someone's dead, especially someone you love. I don't know anyone who's ever said this, but he or she brought it on themselves, meaning they drank, they smoked, they did this, they somehow them dying is their fault. The other thing not to say is, well, there's a reason for everything. The other thing that I resent what people say is, well, aren't you over it yet? I mean, they've been dead for, a while. To someone who has miscarried or lost a child, please never say, well, you can still have another child. The other thing that is recommended that you not say is, well, that person was such a good person, God wanted her to be with him, or God wanted her to be with him. Never say, I know how you feel, because you don't know how they feel. You know how you feel when you've lost someone, but you don't know how that person's feeling. And I am going to talk about that. The other one was, well, that person did what they came to do here on earth, and now it's time for them to go. And the other one that is recommended not to say is, well, be strong. Upper chin up. Okay. So those are seem like simple things to say, but never say it. Hey, Ben. And I think I saw Josh pop in. Hold on. I was going through my list, so I wasn't paying attention to who's in the chat. So let me just play catch up a second and catch my breath. Hey, Josh. Thank you for being here. And I said hi to Ben. Oh, in grief, not in Greece. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, wait, what are you saying here? The aren't you over it yet one sends me right over the edge. I heard them all, but that one really burns me inside. Oh, brother, let me tell you, it sends me upside down. And so this is when I have to rein my anger in, because my mom will be gone 9 years in October. And it's like yesterday. So don't tell me I should be over it. And that's why I'm experiencing these waves of grief right now. That's why I'm getting choked up. That's why I read that beautiful poem. And now that you guys are here, I'm going to go back and read it again because more of you are here. And because I boondoggled this live today and didn't schedule it like I thought I did. This poem comes from a book called Confessions to the Moon by Mike Poetry. Um, and so this is it. And I'm going to. I feel your absence in every little detail. It's not just in the big memories, but in the small, everyday moments. The sound of your laughter, the way you said my name, the sense of peace when you were near me. Sometimes it feels like I hear your voice in the noise of the day or catch your scent in the middle of a crowd. It's not just nostalgia, it's the weight of your absence in every part of me. Whoosh. This guy really captured it for me beautifully. And it does, it floors me each time I hear it. Um, and so John says, 11 years for my daughter in October, and it still feels like yesterday. And, John, there are no words to express my sorrow in the fact that you lost your daughter. Um, so, please just know that I grieve for your loss with you. It's not the same. So some of the things you can say. I am sorry for your loss. The other one is I wish I had the right words. Just know that I care. And I got to tell you, somebody saying that to me would be more comforting than almost anything for me personally. The other one that you can say is, I don't know how you feel, but I am here to help in any way I can. You are loved. You and your loved ones will be in my thoughts and prayers. And then another way of sort of saying something could be, my favorite memory of your loved one is, if you are someone who is familiar with that person. We had a beautiful celebration of life for my mom. Her memorial was filled with people who really loved me. My mom had a small group of friends, and they talked about her painting. My mom was did oil painting. You can see some behind me here. And my whole house is filled with her paintings. They bring me comfort and tremendous joy to see them, knowing her painting them. And people would say, "Oh my God, your mother loved this, and she did this for you." And she took such care, and it just was really, those are the profound things, right? Um, the other thing that would have been helpful to me personally, but another thing to say is, I'm always just a phone call away. And sometimes one of the things you can do is just give a hug as opposed to saying something. Um, Telling people that you're there for them. And here's the thing, don't say it if you don't mean it. And I know the intention often is you do mean it, but you don't follow through. Um, I've talked about this before, but people scattered like cockroaches. And it was a deafening of silence. Now, I will own that my grief was palpable and it was overwhelming to people, and not everyone knew what to do with that. And I honor that. But what I needed was to keep talking about somebody who I loved, and I needed help in navigating, how do I breathe? How do I find my breath? I can't breathe. I don't want people to go with, through what I went through. Who should die? I mean, having that near death experience that I had, and having that massive heart attack from grief, it sure, it changed me. It was profound. It radiated such um, change in my being. But what are you guys all supposed to get? Spontaneous coronary artery dissection or Takotsubo cardiomyopathy? And for those that don't know what Takotsubo is, it's really known as broken heart syndrome. Literally, my heart broke, and the blood pooled behind my heart, and I died. I'm lucky. I'm one of the few that survived that particular heart event. But what I would say is, and there's no blame, by the way, having someone near me would, I don't know, I'm second guessing. And I did have three very close people that weren't physically near me, but checked in with me constantly. And the endorphins and the dopamine drained right the hell out of my body. And I could not crawl or claw my way out of that grief and that sorrow. And it didn't help that I lost my job right afterwards. And it didn't help that, I felt abandoned by certain people in my life that I've always been there for. And where the hell were they? Now, hindsight, years later, I get that people couldn't be there. I get it, but I didn't get it at that time. Okay, I'm going to breathe a second and just come back to the chat. And oh, thank you. Yeah, look, there's no easy way. Hey, thanks, Mish, for being here. I really did blow today's go live, didn't I? Oh, thank you. So you know what, Heaney, that really means a lot to me. Um, going through lots of different traumas. It's so grief comes in many forms, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about today. Grief comes in death. Grief comes in the death of your innocence when it was stolen from you as a child. You can't get that back. Grief comes in being abandoned by parents, siblings, family, friends that, for whatever reason, you were just disconnected from. I can't think of another way of saying it. And I think that those things are critical. I think having your family member taken from you through violence, that brings a whole nother level of grief that the average person can't relate to. It's one thing when you lose someone to illness, as horrible. It's another thing through an accident. And then there's another thing through violence. And there's levels of all of these experiences that make moving through grief and embracing the grief an added layer of difficulty. And again, it doesn't matter if it was yesterday, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago, grief is freaking grief. How long am I going to be live today? Just about an hour. So I have a half hour left. Yeah, the silent hugs, man. Just the hugs. Oh my God. Let's see. Okay, scroll. Yeah. So, and I think people, if we could acknowledge, and maybe that's the lesson for us today, We may not know what to say to someone like John, who, and there are others, but I don't want to mention them within the chat without them saying what their story is. But they may not know what to say. And I think the most respectful thing to say to someone is, John, I don't know what to say. And I don't know what to do. Um, but let me be here for you if that's what you want. And then here's a suggestion. Just show up at John's door. Just show up at Teresa's house. Just show up at your friend's house with food. Just say, I know you didn't want anything. I brought you your favorite Chinese food. Put it in the freezer, put it in the fridge, eat it when you feel like it. Um, you know, get him out of the house. I'm going for a walk. Come with me for a walk. Just come. It's 5 minutes. Just come for a walk. I didn't want to go to it for a freaking walk, but you know what? I would have gone. Instead, I sat on my porch swing, staring at the chipmunks and the squirrels at my bird feeder, praying to die. I wanted to die. The loneliness was overwhelming. And the fact that everybody I loved sort of scattered made me feel even more alone. So I just want to encourage you through your own journeys and your own interactions with people from this point forward that there are ways of being supportive without being condescending or being too intrusive. I needed space. I get it. And I was angry. Not that my mom died. I mean, I'm going to be the first one to say that woman suffered and she didn't need to suffer. And in the end, my brothers and I, we all just wanted her to go peacefully. And she did. And she was surrounded by love and she knew it. I believe it. And having had my near-death experience, knowing that I was sort of hovering around and I was like, where are all these people sort of talking? And why aren't they talking to me? I can tell you that if someone you love is in a coma of some sort, keep talking. They hear you. And let them know that they hear you. I know you hear me. And I love you. And when you're ready, fly with the angels or whatever you want to say, if there's a faith, if there's not everyone believes in an afterlife, but go in peace. And you're loved and you will never be forgotten. And I think those are the things that bring us beauty in our lives. And that's why I love David Kessler, because, there's no such thing as, get over it. We all know that. Any one of us that have experienced grief, no, do not say that ever. You're still grieving. Like, there are strong people that choke it down and it comes out in other ways. So if someone's not really having a grief experience, they're having it. They're just showing it in a different way. Sometimes it comes out in anger. And I'm just going to pause a second because I need to blow my nose. Sorry, but I didn't think you needed to hear that. Oh, hi, Body Illusion. Welcome in. Oh, thanks. Oh, guys, thanks for popping in. I love that everyone's coming in. And it's a pleasure to meet you, Amelia loves Ariel. Thank you for coming. Heaney, thank you. See, for me, if I want you over, I'll ask. I need to do my suffering alone until I don't. Thank God my friends and family know me. Everyone is different. 100%. So as we navigate our own grief and other people's grief, it is important to know the person. People that know me they knew at the time. Now, I was far away from a lot of people, but even if I was next door, the grief that I was experiencing, um, it was raw, folks. I mean, it was raw, and it was overwhelming to other people. They didn't know what to say to me, um, and they couldn't be there for me. The one or two that could, um, were angels. It still didn't prevent me from going into that dark place. And for me, I had to have that heart event, and I had to, you know, die, if you will, in order to be reborn. It was like electric shock therapy to my brain, and it snapped me out of that grief. I just don't want people to think that that is the right way to go, to get over grief. And it wasn't getting over it, but it really did. It leveled out the dopamine and the endorphins and all the chemicals that get your brain going to help you move through your life. Um, and I really, at that time, it was a really tough choice to see if I wanted to live or to die. I didn't know how I wanted to feel. Um, and living your truth, living your heart, it's just proof that you loved. And I loved profoundly. And I feel deeply and I feel profoundly. That's me, Teresa. And when I laugh out loud. And trust me, there are days where I'm having a conversation with my mother who is no longer here, and I am laughing because I either did something that would have made her laugh, or she would be peeing in her pants seeing what I did. Um, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, Mama, you would be rolling in the chair right now if you saw what I just did." And I can share with you that I was so discombobulated yesterday. Can't believe I'm going to tell you guys. So I had my lipstick, and I was thinking I really need to do my eyebrows. Not what I was going for. It's just showing you where my head was at. I put some lipstick on my eyebrow, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? It just and nobody would have appreciated it as much as my mother would, because it was just something silly, and I wasn't thinking, and I was distracted, and the dogs were barking downstairs trying to get my attention, and I was in a hurry, and I had to get to my doctor's appointment, and I did something silly, and it took a moment, and after I finished laughing, and I had tears in my eyes, because it was like, only you would find that really funny, Mom. And I'm sure all of you would find it funny as well. But it took me some time to take off the lipstick off the eyebrow. And I literally, as I'm doing it, I'm like, it doesn't feel right. So that just tells you where my brain was. It was not present and accounted for yesterday. Um, Thank you, Amelia. Yeah. And I'm sorry if you're going through, grief of any kind. And we've talked about, grief isn't just about an actual death of a person. It could be the end of a career. It could be the end of a good paying job, not even a career that you loved, but puts food on your table. It could be the end of a friendship. And look, people come into our lives, and they are here, and they teach us the lessons that are meant to be taught. And sometimes they or you choose an ending to that friendship, right? Doesn't make it that you're not sad. So I also grieved my pet, after my mom died. I think I had shared this story before. There was a stray in our neighborhood, Spike. Spike was a sickly old cat. And once my brother helped me get the ticks off of him, and we cleaned him up, and we got him healthy, and eventually he would come into the house. He'd peek around the corner, he'd go back outside. Well, eventually he just plopped on that couch, looked at me, and like, yeah, I'm good. I give me that litter box. I don't need to go back out. 6 months to the day that my mom died, that cat died. And my best friend drove 90 miles to my house because I was inconsolable. Because in a way, I thought that cat was my mom's spirit because she knew I couldn't be alone. Oh my God. So, it was tough. It was tough. And then shortly thereafter, I went to an animal shelter and got Sweet Pea, my other kitty. And she was with me for several years, and she also died. And these fucking cats die right around the same time my mom died. I'm like, could you not pick another month? But I guess they're getting all my grief out at the same time. And so I have a love of my animals. They are as dear and as precious to me as humans, maybe more so. So, it's definitely it's a journey. It is definitely a journey. Oh, breathe. I know. This is tough, man. And this is a tough topic today, guys. And please take care of yourself. If this isn't for you, I'm talking about it because it helps me. And, we talked about the things not to say in grief. And we talk about, there's no real perfect anything, but it's what do we do afterwards as a survivor? We're the people that are left behind. I know my mother's in a better place. That brings me comfort. Um, but how do we move through it? And how do we witness each other's grief? And I think we're hearing in the chat that there are different ways of hearing, of experiencing that and being there for the people we love. And then also witnessing the people that we do love that are dying. And one of the things that I've learned through my grief teachings is to engage them in conversation. Now, I will say this, that not everybody in your life that you love loves you the way that you deserve to be loved. Even though they're dying, I will say it's not going to change. I'm not saying it right. So don't expect them to be different towards you. If they've been a jerk to you or they didn't demonstrate love to you in a way that you needed to be loved, if they don't care for you prior to the illness in a way you deserve, they're not going to do it while they're going through their dying process. I would say what's important to you is to reconcile to the best of your ability with the person that you love, the dying process. So I know that my dad isn't going to change. I'm not going to get from my dad what I have needed my entire life. Doesn't make him a bad man. I'm just not going to get what I need. So how can I be there for me and for him? Right? So for him, I just engage in normal conversations and I ask questions, and I will be doing that more now that I know his dying process is very painful. So he's not really in he's not experiencing relief in his journey. So the distraction for me is to ask questions about the people that he loved in his life and to have him tell me stories and maybe to ask him some of his favorite memories of us kids in his life. I just want to bring this up and I got to get my glasses. So Mish says, I know the needing to grieve and have quiet time, but the being forgotten hurts also. I'm like a touch me not at times and I hate it. And that actually is something that hurts my heart. And I wish that during your journey, I was there with you. And I would say now, please, I want to be that resource, that friend, because I think talking about the people that you love even those that you're angry with or you're hurt by, it's still it still needs to be witnessed. And that's one of the things that after my mom died, and it took a couple of years, that's why I went and studied and, learned with this is called On Grief and Grieving by David Kessler. I talked about him earlier, but some of you weren't here. He and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, they wrote On Death and Dying. And we talked about the 5 stages of grief. And sometimes we punish ourselves, like it's my fault someone died. Well, okay, didn't know you had that much power, but I also want to validate you feel that way. It doesn't mean that it's true. A lot of stuff isn't true, but we feel it. And so it's having that conversation and having that support group. And I think that's one thing that's really missing in our community. And I don't mean just ours here, but physically in the place I live, when people pass and after the funeral, hands washed, everybody's gone. And I think John echoed that really well. It's like people just, okay, it's done. And maybe they're uncomfortable and don't know how to relate or offer comfort or be there as a friend to you. And so instead of acknowledging, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to help you. How can I help you? What can I do? And it's not like you can help me. What are you going to do? Hold my tissues while I cry? But you know what? I want to talk about that person that was really special to me. And I miss that person. And I ache and my heart's breaking and I don't know how to get it out. One of the things that does help me, and I thought I'd be able to share some of it, but I was reading my own poetry out loud to myself and I couldn't even get it out. I was so choked up. So I'll have to do it at a different time where I don't feel so vulnerable. But the poetry, the words, I'm known for making up songs. As a little girl, I felt very alone and I would sit on the swing set and I made tons of songs up in my head. I didn't know that one of my brothers actually would hear it or see me. And there's a part of me that wished after I had my heart event in 2019, I pretty much shredded and burned every journal diary up to a certain point because my fear was if I died, somebody would read my journals. And the reason that they're journals and they're private is you get to write things in anger, in hate, in sorrow, in grief, in violence, in whatever it was, and it's private. It's not meant for you to read it and see your name in there and think, oh my God, Teresa hated me. No, I hated at that moment something that happened and I needed to get it down on paper. And I didn't want family to read it. I didn't want friends to read it. It was so private. And I had previously been violated by my journals being read years before. And it left me feeling violated. So for sure, after I died and came back and still didn't know if I was going to live, and knowing that I'm high risk anyway in life and that, I may look healthy, but I am one sharp chest pain away from moving on into the next whatever. I didn't want anyone to find them, so I got rid of them all. And in there were my damn songs, and I'm pissed that I got rid of them because now with Suno and with the help of Mish and, a couple of others, I might have been able to put them to music. Wouldn't that have been great? Whatever. Okay, where am I? I'm Oh, I'm so glad, Amelia. I mean, um, eh, I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope the crying is helping you release whatever you need to. But please take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Oh, crying happily. Okay. This is hard. This is not an easy journey, and it's not an easy conversation. Um, what did Mish say here? People are like, "You've gone through it enough. Aren't you used to it yet?" Oh my God. How? I agree with you. How? How can we get used to the holes in our heart and when the first one still hurts as well? Well, first of all, they're always going to hurt. That's what I want to honor and give voice to. The holes will always be there. It's just a demonstration that the love passes through it and the love will always be there. And we're not meant to just um, I don't believe we're meant to fill the holes. That's my personal belief. I think the hole reminds me that it's filled with love, and with each person that passes, and Mish, I want us to come up with a different version. I love the song that you did for the village, but I want one for me in my healing journey, the kintsugi vase, and talk about that. That's what our heart is, Mish. I think it's a kintsugi shattered heart, and we're going to fill it back up with love. And it's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to beat the same way, but it's beating. And I want to honor that, and I want to see the beauty in that. And there's beauty in the love of the people that have come and gone. And I think the people that have come and gone in our lives have shaped us and made us who we are, and made us vulnerable, and made us maybe more aware and kinder for other people, right? I mean, maybe, and I'm not speaking for you, but I don't think I was there for other people when they went through their experience, because I never had, and I never could relate to someone dying. And all of a sudden, whoosh, with death. So I think the lessons for me is to have compassion, where I don't know if I had it as much in the past. And that just came from inexperience. Yeah, John, he says, "That's exactly how I feel. I talk and laugh with my sweet Hope to this very day, and I can feel her here with me. I'm sure people think I'm nuts, but it works for me. I don't care if people think I'm nuts. There are days where I'm in the dog park with the dogs, and I'm like, 'Mama, this would make you crazy.' And I'm just talking to her. And then outside my window here is the most beautiful sunset. And we could see this particular view from my old house that's up the street, and it was on the hill. And we would sit on the porch, and mom would look at those colors, and she's like, "Oh, I got to take a picture. I've got to capture the colors so I can paint it." And almost every day when there's a sunset out here, that woman and I talk, and I take my iced tea and I sit on the damn steps. And I'm like, "Oh my God, mama, you would love these colors. You would love these colors." Um, and I think in honor of her, either on Mother's Day or in October, I'm gonna do a gallery show for you guys to show you her paintings, because to me they are beautiful, and so she painted with love. Oh my God, every stroke was love. And you can laugh with me, um, because I'm not a painter. I do paint by numbers. And when I had to move and sell my house, I must have had 12 paint by numbers. So I couldn't take everything with me. So I put a whole bunch of stuff out on the street for free, and someone took them. And I got to tell you, it made me feel so loved, because I wouldn't have hung my paintings because they were paint by numbers. My mother's are everywhere in my small apartment. There aren't enough walls for all of her paintings. And I do have a couple of friends that are better at interior design than I am. And at some point when I'm ready, the other paintings that I haven't been able to hang, I want her to come and help me just sort of collage them on the walls because I'm not good at that. Um, and they fill me with love. I have something tangible. I when I had to downsize, um, a lot of her furniture, um, her art supplies, those kinds of things, her clothes, I had to get rid of. And when I tell you I cried initially, and then for her clothes, I had all of her friends come and I left the room. I couldn't be there, but I'm like, take whatever you want because then I'm going to donate the rest. So knowing that part of her is with other people filled my heart. My winter coat, which is 2 sizes too big for me, I still wear because it's hers. Um, and the furniture took me a while, and I have 1 or 2 pieces left, and I'm very ready to let them go because she doesn't live in them, but at the time, she was in everything. Her art supplies went to other people, her sewing stuff went to other people, um, and for me, that was good. It was good. Um, the family photos, my brothers and I are working out what we're gonna do with them because quite frankly, nobody wants our history. I'm like, "How do you not want our history?" Um, but her paintings, I have a very difficult time with parting with. Um, and there are some they're just gonna have to be sold or donated to, like a local library or something because there are too many, and my next move will be even smaller, I'm on a fixed income, I can't keep this, and there's only so many family members that want my mom's paintings, um, and they mean something to me, not to everybody else. Let me go through this before, we run out of time. Uh, yeah, Mish, so, my brain is abandoning me constantly these days. There is grief in there as well. There is grief in that as well, absolutely. Uh Haiti says, John, that's what I was going to say. Is that the thing that's really helped me through my grief is that I literally feel them with me. So I talked to all of them to this day, and I know they're speaking back, and they are. I believe that in my heart so deeply. Um, and thank you all for talking to each other. And uh, it's this is about community, and this is about sharing this. Um, One of the things that I wanted to do within my community, maybe I'll do it here, is do a monthly Google Meet, just to talk about the people that we loved, and to help us get through it. So if that's something you personally are interested in after this live, please put it in the comment because if there's enough interest, I will absolutely um, host uh, uh, a meeting for us to do once a month so that we get to just say, hey, and everybody take 5 or 10 minutes to talk about the person they love the most. And sometimes there's many people. Um, and watching my auntie, who I adore more than anything, go through her dementia journey to death is that's my mom's sister. She's been there for me through my mom's illness, but then after my mom left, she's my godmother anyway, but she stepped right up. She calls me every freaking week like clockwork. And now that she can't as much, I call her. I've always called her anyway, but uh, it's there's love. And my whole community is about love and loving each other through everything. And grieving comes, Millie. Absolutely. Amen and hallelujah, sister. Grieving can show up for many different reasons and at very different times. And in the middle of something, I could be walking in Walmart and seeing a mother and daughter. I'm like, son of a bitch. That should be me and my mom. But I'm so happy and I hope those people love each other. So absolutely. um, and body illusion. I'm sorry, I would laugh, but the pain of taking it off and putting it on your face again, I'm telling you, oh my word. Oh, my gravy. Um, oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, for me, it's butterflies. And I still, there's still things that I think, oh, is that my mom? Is that mom coming to say, stop being a pain in the ass and go do what you need to do? Don't sit here not taking action because you're grieving me because I'm pissed and that's not what you would want for me. Hey Eric, thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome. Um, this is a heavy one today. Let's see. Yeah, tell Tara we miss her. I missed her her YouTube channel. Um, hey Davey. And if I missed anybody, sorry, through the tears and all this stuff. we're we're sort of running over time. Amelia says, Mish, hers is not about the loss of a job. My tears are from much deeper than that. Can you please share my link of my grief, my survivor video called Years Ago? Oh, I don't know if she can, but definitely if Mish can't, um, Braze isn't here, but I think actually Mish does have access to my account. So if she can, she will post it. If not, put it in the comments and I'll make sure I post it next time. Hey, da, 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 da. Let's see. Hey, Cosmic. Oh, don't be unsubbed. Please sub. And yes, while we're talking about it, hey, everybody, please like and share, like and subscribe. It will help me a lot. Let's see. I'm just coming through down, down, down. Oh, I don't know why you're crushed, John. I hope I didn't say something. All right. Oh, here it is. She did put the link in. All right. I'll definitely take a look at it. Sometimes just let us talk without leaving or cringing. Just hold space. And that's what I'm about. And that's what this channel is about, is holding space. And engaging with each other and loving each other and supporting each other. All right. So let me just. Hey, Indigo, so glad you're here. Yeah, Indigo, I have surrendered. Um, now that I'm journaling and I live alone and it's just me and the dogs, but I'm much more cautious about what I put in my journals. And I have spoken to my brother that if I were to pass, I ask that he not read them. And that, he can burn them, but um, I would prefer that he not read them. I also am not going to judge if he does, because I'm sort of past the anger stage of things of my past. So they probably will give him a window into my heart that he hasn't already seen, and he has pretty good access to it. Um, but anyway, all right. He says, I once threw out 2 large bags of journals, never a moment's regret. And that's great. I mean, I think it's one thing. I just thought that my destroying the journals, I didn't want to hurt people by them reading them because of my pain. And, some of the traumas that I had as a young person, people don't know about in my family, or they're the cause of it. I don't want that to be what they take away or regret if I'm dead. Uh, just know me and love me and laugh. And, you know, I have some really good, I always call them funeral stories, that the day I die, my friends have enough funeral stories to keep a memorial celebration going for hours. And I want that to be anybody that has met me. You don't need to carry my wounds, they're my wounds. And part of this whole channel is my wounds are going to morph into wisdom. And I don't want to live in the wound. I don't want to live in the sorrow, and I don't want to live in the grief, but I want to live in the experience of those things. And I want to honor the grief, and I want to honor the wounds. Um, and so, oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, John, I appreciate that. Oops, I'm scrolling. I'm trying to catch up here. Um, let's see. The thing about our hearts is they are organic and will always grow. We fill our hearts by each person who we meet, good, bad. I thank all of you for helping me with that. Love you. Grief walks with me, but there's beauty in the memories of those who are gone. My NDE gave me such a unique view of what's important. You and me both. My near death experience absolutely put things in a different perspective. Can I? Oh, I don't think. Shoot, Mish. I can't click this and open it here, but I will. You guys, if you have a chance, go to a poem about grief called Dash on Mish's channel. Um, okay, let me scroll, scroll, scroll. Yeah, and I think of that as your rainbow room, Teresa. It's a magical space for sure. It is. It is. Um, and look, I also don't want it to be, I didn't create a martyr in her either. Like my mother was not a perfect person, right? I don't want it to be like she was this saint. We bumped heads. Um, One of the things that I learned, especially through her illness, but when she moved in with me after my first heart attack my first heart attack was 2006. So she moved in with me shortly thereafter. And we bumped heads. I mean, I'm very independent. I've been alone my whole life. I'm set in my ways. I had to learn to be more patient and not as condescending to her as I was raised to be. And I was influenced by how other people spoke to my mother, and I sort of carried that tone. And I worked very hard on breaking that. And we developed a great relationship. But if she were here today, she'd say, I'm a PITA, a pain in the ass, and vice versa. We're both pains in the ass. I don't want it to be that I put her on this pedestal, but her love taught me how to love. And her death and her journey into death taught me what true love is. And there's an intimacy that exists with true love, regardless if it's with a partner, a parent, a child, a sibling, a friend. True love is not defined by sort of that intimacy or that sexuality. It has nothing to do with that. True love is opening your heart and really loving unconditionally. There are no restrictions. There was no judgment. Um, I was loved for me. Um, and that's one of the last times I was loved for me. So, you just, how fabulous to have somebody not judge you. And it's sad if you feel like you have been judged. And I do, on occasion, have to work through that. Maybe that's my issue and not someone else's. Maybe I'm projecting, right? Okay. So Indigo had put something out there that she writes to her birth parents. I write letters all the time and I mail them to myself. So I write letters to me. I write letters to my mom. I write letters to the old version of me. Some I open and some I don't. But I literally put a stamp on the envelope and mail it and have it come back to me. Um, and some of the things that I have written, it just is a way of acknowledging you existed and I exist. All right, I know I'm over. So let me John says, I am so grateful for this community. You all give me hope every day in the kindness of others. You can't put a price on that. And that is very true. And this is a really great community. And I'm so pleased and happy and honored that you are all here with me today, especially since I boondoggled the go live and wasn't sure if I'd be talking to myself. Okay, so yes, please, like, subscribe, share with somebody that that might find this uh, type of conversation um, helpful. Oh, Brazy, so not your fault. It's totally me, girl. You missed that I put lipstick on my eyebrows. So yeah, no, it's been a backwards 2 days for me. I'm coming back around. And Ben says, I have a cardinal that comes and chatters his little butt off. Some cultures believe cardinals carry the memories of ones we lost. Maybe true or not, but helps me to remember. And I totally buy that, Ben, by the way. And that is also true of ladybugs and butterflies in my car. Nowhere else. They end up like stuck to the windshield before the car's not even moving. And I'm like, well, hello there. And now I'm like, hi, Nana. My Nana used to be our butterfly. And if I see ladybugs, I'm like, hey, mama, because ladybugs used to drive my mom crazy because they would fill her bedroom. And so absolutely. And I think I take comfort in many signs. I mean, and that just helps me. It doesn't have to be true. It's like I said, in the sunset, in the colors of a rainbow, in the laughter of a little kid. I'm like, that's that's me and my mom. I mean, I won't share with you how I got my mom to laugh when she was going through her chemo because it really, besides the fact that it's very personal, you probably wouldn't get it as much if you knew. You'd have to know my mom to get it, but I did a lot of things to make that woman laugh, and even through the tears. What did you say here, Mish? When I had insurance and my funeral all set up, they were to roll my coffin in 5 minutes late. So all would be like, yep, that's Mish. Girl, if you want me to come and roll your casket in late, I'm happy to do so. Um, um, all right. Um, oh, right back at you, lady. Right back at it. Right back at you. Oh, great, Ben. I'd love to talk to you about NDEs. I had a really interesting experience with mine, and I would love to talk about it. So count me in. Um, and I mean, I wanted to do a show on it as well, but I think I'd rather be on a show and talk about it. I think you would probably have more thoughtful questions, and I could just share, where I've been. All right, so we're almost at the end here, guys. Thank you, Mish. And the pups are getting antsy with me. They all need to go potty, and I know that we grow and we evolve as people, but grief is always part of us. And I'm going to continue to do different shows about grief, different iterations of them, talking about the anniversaries, which are, I know the exact time and death of my mom. I celebrate those anniversaries, and other members of my family don't want to. It's not important to them. It doesn't bring them the comfort it brings me. So I think, acknowledging and creating space for that is very important. I would ask again, as I close the show, please leave a comment if you'd be interested in participating in grief discussions. I'm not really sure what kind of title I want to call it, but that's not part of YouTube, so we can all be face to face in a Google Meet, and that way we can sort of express, share photos or stories, anything that will make you feel seen and witnessed, would be awesome. So as always, from the bottom of my heart, may you be blessed with love, with light, with healing, with compassion, sprinkled with joy and laughter and giggles. And I leave you with the song that was written. Couldn't upload the other ones. Everybody else just enjoy it and get the good version of the song. Love to you all. Bless you.
One day, on a cold January day, life changed in so many ways at once. As the day begun, I lived one life. As the day ended, I had begun anew, reborn with a new life, a new mission, reborn with a new vision. What may come, I don't know yet, but I am here alive, living my life to the fullest, with new love in my heart and soul, a gift to have, a gift to give, a new life of love.